Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Dear Sanger and all practitioners, it is Saturday afternoon, December 13, 2025. We continue with the topic. Nirvana has no name. According to the patriot and the intention of the Buddha to help practitioners like us not getting stuck in the form, the sound, or just the saying, but instead truly practice. The speech is just to help strengthen the belief in the mind when we are diligent with the practice. And when we are like that, then we will easily absorb the teachings of the Buddha and the patriot. And able to put in practice the scripture and the recorded teachings of the Buddha and the patriot to help us strengthen our belief in the mind and help us push us forward on our practice until we can control ourselves and end all attachments. This topic is to help us always believe in the true mind. So right now, anybody has any question, you can ask right now. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, dear thầy, dear everyone. Can you help explain how can we be in accordance with the situation and also the idea? You know, I said we need to always practice. The practice help us know how to actually do it. For example, we need to know that we are actually sick or believe that we actually have a sickness in order to come to see a doctor. And when we visit a doctor, we need to at least talk to the doctor for them to know how to help. So the doctor, depending on your sickness, they will choose the appropriate medicine. That's what it means by the term. But in order to do that, we need to cooperate with the doctor. We have to be willing to take the test that the doctor suggests. Same thing with studying Buddhism. When we first came to the temple, the patriarch asked, what do you want when you come here? If you only want the 5 worldly desires, then this is not the place for you. If you want the fame, the benefits, then you have to go somewhere else. Or in the past, when the outsiders want to come just to argue then the Buddha either just keep silent or he just say it's just the argument of the outsiders, and in the sutra, uh, there was a story about the outsider keep talking with the Buddha until the argument 13. Then they um they left because there's no benefit to those arguments. So we need to at least discuss in order to find the appropriate solution, or else there's no way. Same thing for a doctor and a patient. Same thing for us. We need to do it based for the liberation, not for competition, gain or benefits. If we do it for competition, for gain, for benefits, there's no way we can get anywhere, and we will not be getting along with um the path. Anything that is al- get along with the path will continue to come here. Anyone who's not getting along with the path, eventually they will have to move away. We need to practice in order to have something to discuss with our Dharma friends. Discuss the methods to resolve the issue of birth and death. If we just discuss the knowledge, it will only lead to argument. Because people tend to attach to their own idea, thinking their idea is better than anything else. But the Buddha said established knowledge is ignorance. Um, to sweep away all knowledge is the wisdom of liberation. So to help the practitioner not being attached or not getting stuck in those knowledge is also a way to provide the appropriate solution. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, the Thầy, the Sangha and practitioners. Yesterday there was a discussion of a Dharma friend about a practice. And this person say that when he applied the teachings of the patriot, he think applying the teaching of the patriot is very important. Mm, But sometimes we are not able to truly understand the teachings as it is, but instead understand the teachings as we want. Then how can we not getting stuck with all of the knowledge that we have learned? The Buddha said, believe in me but don't understand me is equal to slandering me. Believe in the Dharma but not able to apply the Dharma is equivalent to slandering the Dharma. So if we believe but not believe the right way uh, in the Dharma of ending attachment, but instead we believe in the superstition, we still understand, still learn, but not able to understand it thoroughly, not able to help the right view, then it is such a waste. If we practice with the thought of birth and death, for example, the rules and precepts are also the Dharma of liberation. Um, and those precepts, those um, rules help limit our attaching mind. And anytime where our thinking is against the rules and precepts of the Buddha, then we know that that is something we need to change. So those rules and precepts is like a way that the Buddha give out as a way for us to diagnose our sickness. Just like if we go to the doctor and check our health, or the blood test, the biopsy, um, the ultrasound will help us um, diagnose our sickness and come up with a plan, a treatment plan. If after the treatment we still don't see the effectiveness, then we need to uh, see more doctors to help us. So even the worldly Dharma is like that, let alone the Buddha Dharma, the Dharma without form. We cannot be careless on the learning. We need to learn with others. We cannot just um, base off on our own ideas. If we do that, we unintentionally uh, make Buddhism not as Buddhism. Buddhism is the Dharma of ending attachment. So in reality, for to learn about a field, a specialty field, we have to discuss, we have to learn, we have to get knowledge from many different places in order to reduce and get out, get the gist of how to make their own invention. That is the worldly Dharma, let alone Buddha Dharma. Buddha Dharma is always about ending attachment, but we tend to have the attachment idea. We need to practice and learn in order to know where we get wrong or to know where we get fooled by our consciousness. So we need to practice ourselves and also learn with other people. We have to rely on the Sangha to learn instead of just being on our own. Nowadays, people sometimes just believe in the Dharma, not believe in the Sangha. They don't understand the meaning of Sangha. Um, Sangha is the group of people practice liberation, including monks, nuns, and lay people. And need at least 4 people and above in order to form a Sangha. Um, the rules of the Buddha is very clear. A Sangha needs to have at least 4 people. But we tend to want to do things on our own, make decision our own. That is very dangerous. So to learn Buddhism, we need to practice. And when we practice, we have to share our experience and always direct our mind to ending attachment and liberation. And based on learning, we gradually will be able to realize the right Dharma. If we are not patiently practice our mind, if we are not diligent, we have to practice both our body and mind, willing to face everything, not running away from anything. The mind have to always diligent work and practice uninterruptedly, not getting lazy, and be open up to learning. That is to follow the teaching of the Buddha. Do you understand? Yes, I do. Thank you, thầy.
Dạ, con hiểu rồi, con xin cảm ơn thầy. Dạ, thưa thầy,
Dear Thầy, dear everyone,
kính thưa đại chúng, thưa thầy,
I'm
con
not sure
thì
why I'm never satisfied
phong phú
with
về
our
kiến thức.
practice.
Xin thầy bồi thêm cho con. Mà hình như là thưa
And
thầy,
sometimes I
thực ra ví dụ như
tend
là
to
ở ngày công việc ngày thì
set
giống
up
như con là
a
giáo viên,
time.
cũng có thời
For
gian
example, at home, there are a lot of things to
dành thời
do.
gian mình
I
đi
set up time.
ừm,
Uh,
hành hương thì con nghĩ mình sẽ công phu tốt hơn,
Sometimes I think if I do walking meditation, I will practice better. Or when I
nhưng mà thực
came
ra
to the
thì
temple, I
nhiều
practice
lúc thì
better.
không có
But
hài lòng với
even when
cái
I
việc
do
mình
that,
làm,
I still not
nhiều lúc con cũng
satisfied
không có hài lòng
with
với
my
cái việc
practice. I'm not sure why. Could you
con
please give me advice?
thầy cho con.
I said to not satisfy mean your mind is not peaceful. There are two different way of being not peaceful. one is feeling not peaceful because of our affliction, attachment, because of our living. For example, um, uh, family issues, money issues, um, lead us to being feeling unpeaceful because of the suffering of birth and death. And because of that feeling unpeaceful, they that push them to seek out um, the way and seek out the practice. But some people instead get pushed to um, reach out drinking or reach out to some different bad places, making them getting more confused instead of being able to resolve their feeling of unpeacefulness. That is the first feeling of unpeacefulness. The second is the feeling of unpeacefulness of a practitioner. Um, they feeling unpeaceful because they haven't been able to resolve their issue of birth and death, and that pushed them to be more diligent to practice day and night. Um, and impermanence is there and can get us anytime. That's why it's caused the feeling of unpeaceful for a practitioner. But that feeling is also because of their determination to resolve the issue in birth and death. For example, when we go visit the places of the patriot, um, we want to go there to strengthen our belief in the mind. But we still don't see that we have an uninterrupted practice. Then that mind is the mind wanting to nourish the practice, nourish the idea of birth and death. So when we reflect on that feeling of unpeacefulness, of unease, we continue to learn and rely on our Dharma friends and also to um, practice further until we liberate, then that concern will disappear. So that is the two different situation of feeling unpeacefulness. So you can reflect to see which situation you are in. Is it because of family issues, children issues, or work issues, or money issues? Or is it because you always want to um, improve on your practice, willing to push aside all of the other issues like friends, meeting, um, um, wedding, funeral. We put aside everything and focus on the practice. But we don't want to close off and do it ourselves. The Buddha and the Patriarch want us to be close to the Sangha. Like every 2 weeks, we need to reflect to see if we make any mistake and recite the precepts. The rules are the um, skillful means to help the practitioner that redirect their mind to liberation and also to live harmoniously. Um, and in order to live harmoniously, we need to overcome attachment. But if we have attachment, it's very hard to live harmoniously. So ending attachment is to practice the right way with the intention of the Buddha and the patriarch.
Dạ vâng, cảm ơn thầy.
Namo Sakyamuni Buddha, dear Thầy, dear Sangha and practitioners. I would like to share about my mind. I hope you can compassionately give me some advice. These past few days, I hear you remind a lot about the learning and the practice, and you always remind us that the time is not no longer a lot, and the opportunity to people to learn together is also rare. I also share with in Pháp Thiện. I also remind me about this. And when I feel a lot of anger, I and hear your reminder, I started to feel saddened. Um, then I feel regretful. I'm not sure why I keep being controlled by this mind. You also told me that um, when you have the time when you were able to be close to um, your master is not that long, and you feel regretful that you didn't have the opportunity to do much for your master. Then I started to think about my dad. I see that because of my ignorant mind, I let time pass by a lot. Seeing my dad sacrifice his whole life for his children, but us always saw his habits of getting drunk. Or addicted to drinking. But my dad is never wrong about teaching us. But when we see him drinking, we assume his teaching is wrong. But when he passed away, everything he left behind is very valuable lesson to us and making us feeling very regretful for disappointing him. But he never had the mindset of abandon anyone. Sometimes he sat and then he start drinking, but he whatever he say is just to help us grow up. So from there, I also be able to see um, your concern for us. I can feel from what you share um, is very deep, and to help us be able to see our mistake and to learn more on this path. I actually see that the chance for us to live together is very rare. Living in this anger is not that long, but I see changes keep happening. People come and go. Very difficult to have a harmony, to um, walk on the same path of liberation. Even though each of us have our own habits, everyone still have the mind of liberation, but why we still find it's very difficult to overcome? Could you please give us some advice? The common thing for all of us is because we're not willing to practice drastically, meaning put our practice wholeheartedly. And practice wholeheartedly mean we have to combine all aspects that the Buddha taught us. For example, a patient comes see the doctor, they need to be genuine with the doctor and believe in the doctor and tell doctor about all of his symptoms. And when doctor asks to do something, that person have to willing to do it. Um, it needs that cooperation for the doctor to easily heal us, meaning we need the genuine mind, the honest mind. Same thing. When we practice Buddhism, we need to have the mind of liberation, of ending attachment. We live in our true mind completely. Um, Rely on the Dharma or the three jewels. Our practice will improve, meaning we we learn to strengthen our belief in the true mind. We are able to keep our right view, not getting fooled by our consciousness, because the right view, um, with the right view, we will not get fooled by our ignorance and attachment that lead us into birth and death. But if we don't practice and apply the practice, but just go after our ignorance, sometimes our ignorance make us lose our practice. Then even if the Buddha is here, or even if someone remind the teaching of the patriarch, we will not believe because our ignorance and discrimination is too thick, too strong, that it completely um make an obstacle to us. So the obstacle of affliction or the obstacle of knowledge. Our active consciousness is also an obstacle to our practice, making us attached to our knowledge, not willing to put them down. Liberation means we have to dare to sweep away all of that. When we say we are willing to sacrifice everything to enter this path to practice liberation, but then we are not able to put down our knowledge, then it will lead us into the obstacle of the knowledge. And that obstacle also lead us to the obstacle of affliction. So in conclusion, it's because we not willingly to practice, or we don't practice the right way because we're not opening up our mind to learn. Like the patriarch said, because we don't have the bright wisdom eye, we don't have the sturdy stance. Our stance tend to be tend to wobble, and tend to change. So our ignorance and attachment is our own obstacle. No one else create any obstacles to us. Even for me in the past, I had a lot of obstacles as well. Sometimes I feel very uncomfortable seeing things not going my way. But when we look back at patriot, like in the past, there was no Zen temple. They stay at the indirect method temple, but they still be able to maintain um, the Zen nature. So for the indirect method, um, they have all kind of rituals at the beginning of the year. They even doing rituals with the stars, and I didn't want to participate. I'm willing to get kicked out, but not wanting to participate. And I suggest, why don't we change to reciting the sutra instead of doing the rituals for the stars? Because that was not the teaching of the Buddha. It's because they do that because they just want to follow what the Buddhists want. And it create a tradition, but that tradition actually is originated from somewhere else, not Buddhism. And those rituals present a lot of superstition, not about liberation. So when I was in that situation, I feel afflicted and uncomfortable. Uh, but at the end, um, I figure out, why do I have to feel afflicted? I just need to practice. And I just need to support the three jewels. I still um discuss, still share my experience based on the right Dharma. Then gradually people start to change. And then we don't want to do those just because we were worried about not having enough money, enough food. So even when we face things that don't go our way, we still don't let them affect us. So that is one of my experience. If we keep using our consciousness and our discrimination, then we will keep seeing a lot of obstacles and lose our practice. Never put down our practice. Learn the teaching of Master Lai Quả. Keep keep asking the question. If they don't ask, then fine. If they ask, just tell them I practice Patriot Zen. And even if they say things that are not nice, we don't need to pay attention about that. Focus on our own business. We have our own method that we need to practice. They have their own method. Remember the teaching of the Buddha, the patriot. Even though we don't get a lot of time to be close to the patriot, even just a little time, we still need to practice. The practice gradually will help us believe in the true mind and help us eventually overcome all obstacles. But if we don't practice, there's no way we can overcome the obstacles. So after that, the more we read the recorded teachings, the more we are able to apply into reality. Not to remember by heart, to recite it. At first, sometimes we might forget here and there, but don't worry. If we practice, gradually we will remember everything and able to apply it. And applying it here meaning to an attachment. Ask the question, raise the doubt. Making sure the doubt is the right doubt, not curiosity or suspicion. When we hear the wise teacher remind us, we have to be cautious. Like Master Lai Quả said, I already talked a lot, but you still have to make a step. Or Master Wisdom said, you practice many years, but still not making change. Or our patriot said, you post to me many years, but still don't understand the meaning of Hoa Thou. So we have to reflect immediately, see if we get stuck on those mistakes. And make us not be able to pay tribute to the three jewels. Or like the Buddha said, I taught you to enter the stream, but you keep exiting the stream. In the Lotus Sutra, that person not willing to believe that is his father, and he keep begging on the street. We just need to keep reflect on ourselves, on our practice, to see if we are able to practice the right way. All of those are valuable teachings. So we have to always practice, always reflect on ourselves, see if not letting ourselves looking outward, then we will not making mistake. I understand. Thank you, thầy. The time is up. Goodbye, everyone. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.